The Alaska Triangle, the place where the sky eats the lost. They call it America's last frontier, a place where the mountains touch the heavens and silence stretches farther than the eye can see. But out here in the endless wilderness of Alaska, the horizon hides something more than beauty. It hides the lost. Since the 1950s, planes have vanished from the radar mid-flight. Entire search teams have disappeared without a signal. Even villages, full of people, stories, and lives, have been swallowed whole by the snow and never seen again. Locals know this place well. It's a massive stretch of land that maps call just Alaska, but to those who live here it's something far darker. They call it the Alaska Triangle, a region where compasses spin wild, radio signals die, and the air itself feels wrong. Pilots whisper another name though. When the clouds close in and the radio crackles with that hollow, humming static, they say they've entered the place where the sky eats the lost. Because up here the sky doesn't just watch you. It waits. It covers a massive region, from Anchorage to Juneau to Barrow, a triangle so vast it could fit multiple states inside it. And yet, every year dozens of people vanish here. Not a crash site. Not a body. Just gone. Since 1988, more than 16,000 people have disappeared within its borders. That's more per capita than anywhere else on Earth. The most infamous case? 1972, a small Cessna carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs and 3 others disappeared mid-flight. Hundreds of searchers, planes, and boats scoured the wilderness for 39 days. No wreckage. No signal. No trace. It's as if the triangle swallowed them whole. They say Alaska's beauty is unmatched. A land where the sky stretches forever, where snow-capped peaks pierce the clouds like the bones of ancient gods. But beneath that breathtaking view lies a region that hungers for the living. Locals call it the Alaska Triangle. It stretches from Anchorage to Juneau to Barrow, swallowing a portion of the state so enormous you could fit multiple U.S. states inside it. And within that frozen expanse, people vanish. Constantly. Not just lost hikers or unlucky travelers. We're talking about entire aircrafts, seasoned pilots, and entire search parties, gone without a signal, without a trace, without even a goodbye. Since 1988, more than 16,000 souls have disappeared inside the triangle's borders. That's not folklore. That's the highest missing person rate per capita anywhere on Earth. The most chilling case still haunts investigators to this day. October 16, 1972. A small Cessna 310 lifted off from Anchorage, carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, Congressman Nick Begich, their aide, and an experienced pilot. The weather was clear. The flight was routine. And then, silence. No mayday. No radar blip. No wreckage. For 39 straight days, the U.S. military, Coast Guard, and hundreds of volunteers searched over 325,000 square miles of wilderness. They found nothing. No metal. No fabric. No footprints. Just static on the radio and an emptiness that felt alive. To this day the plane, and every soul aboard, remain missing. As if the Alaska Triangle didn't just hide them, but claimed them. Long before maps carved Alaska into borders and flight paths, the land had its own warnings. The Tlingit and Inuit peoples who've lived among these frozen mountains for thousands of years told stories that outsiders dismissed as myth, tales not meant to entertain but to protect. They spoke of spirits that roamed the peaks and valleys, watching, waiting. Not evil, just ancient. Territorial. Guardians of a land that does not forgive intrusion. One of the most feared was Kushtaka, the land Otter Man. But don't let the name fool you. Kushtaka is no simple creature. It's a shapeshifter, half man, half beast, with the uncanny power to mimic the voices of those you love most. Imagine trekking through the snow, the wind slicing across your face, when suddenly you hear your mother calling your name. You turn, following the sound through the trees, and then, nothing. Just the endless white. The legend says once Kushtaka lures you off the path, you're lost forever, trapped between worlds, your soul stolen, your voice added to the echoes that haunt the wilderness. Some say the Alaska Triangle is its domain, a spiritual hunting ground where Kushtaka collects the lost. Others believe these stories weren't fantasy at all, but a warning passed down through generations. Because this land isn't empty. It's aware. It remembers every trespass, every scream, every disappearance. And sometimes, it decides who gets to leave. In the age of satellites, smartphones, and endless digital footprints, how does someone still vanish without a trace? That's the question that haunted millions after 2018, when a wilderness survival YouTuber named Ben Kramer decided to take on Alaska's most forbidden stretch, the heart of the Alaska Triangle. Ben wasn't just another hiker. He was careful, methodical, and obsessed with debunking legends. His goal? To prove the disappearances were nothing more than human error and bad weather, myths born of isolation. For the first 4 days his uploads were steady, breathtaking drone shots, firelight monologues, even jokes about waiting for the triangle to eat him. But on day 5, everything changed. That morning he posted one last clip. The frame shook slightly, flakes of snow drifting like ash through the air. There was no wind, no birds, not even the faint hum of his generator. Just Ben's breathing, fast, uncertain. Then came another sound. A second breath. Slower. Deeper. Not his. Ben turned the camera toward the trees, a blur of white and shadow, then the footage glitched. The last frame froze mid-pan as if the camera refused to see what came next. When rescuers found his camp 2 weeks later, everything was exactly as he left it. Tent zipped, food sealed, gear neatly stacked. No footprints leading away. No signs of struggle. But inside the snow-crusted camera was a single audio file. It was named simply, "It's in the Air." 3 minutes long. And when investigators played it back, there was nothing. No voice. No breath. No static. Just perfect silence. Almost as if the air itself had eaten the sound. Everyone wants an explanation for the Alaska Triangle. And depending on who you ask, the answers range from science to something far more unearthly. Skeptics blame the land itself, unforgiving terrain, sudden blizzards that roll in like curtains, magnetic distortions that make compasses spin wildly, and thin margins of human error in a place that punishes even the smallest mistake. They'll tell you it's all physics and bad luck, nothing more. But others, those who felt it, whisper a different truth. Some researchers talk about electromagnetic vortexes, invisible whirlpools of energy that bend space and time, like the ones said to exist in Sedona or the Bermuda Triangle. Planes caught in these fields, they say, could slip through and simply not come back. A few claim to have measured time distortions, watches that skip seconds, GPS units that freeze, and digital recorders that erase themselves mid-use. And then there are the pilots who swear they've flown through shimmering air, a heat wave in the dead of snow, followed by static that hums like a voice. But among Alaskans, the oldest theory is still the one that chills the most. That something out there is alive, not in flesh but in presence. Something that listens. It doesn't roar or strike. It waits. And if you linger too long, breathing its silence, letting your heartbeat echo across the snow, it starts to remember you. Names don't matter much in the triangle. Because once it learns yours, you don't get to leave. So the next time you find yourself flying over Alaska, staring out the window as the endless white stretches below, and your GPS suddenly flickers, or the radio fades into that unnatural, perfect silence, don't panic. Don't speak. Don't even whisper. Because up there, in the emptiness between the mountains and clouds, silence isn't absence. It's awareness. Maybe your instruments aren't failing. Maybe your signal isn't lost. Maybe something is listening, something older than the mountains, patient as the snow, waiting for a voice to answer the quiet. And if you call out, if you break that sacred stillness even with a breath, you'll hear it. A hum behind the silence. A pulse in the static. And that's when it knows you're there. No wreckage. No distress call. No goodbye. Just another name swallowed by the sky. Because in the Alaska Triangle, not everything that vanishes is lost. Some of it is claimed. And once the sky hears you, you don't come back.